Oh, okay.
because at the last minute, Jean said that she couldn't make it. So, yeah, uh, if you have any kind of a tree stamp, that would work. It doesn't have to be the palm trees, although because your kit includes the seashells, it would look nicer, right?
I didn't even
Um,
look.
that's the beauty of coming to class live,
I
right?
Yeah. No,
Um,
I'm not worried because I didn't even look to see if I had. Oops. Hang on.
and you know what? I mean, it entirely up to you.
I
I do
didn't even get the seashells, to tell you the truth.
in your kit.
No,
Oh, yeah, because I can't stamp them. You know what? Yeah.
no, I'm not worried about it.
Okay. You know what, Lorraine? If you want, entirely up to you. I actually have one seat left if you want to come to live class tomorrow night.
Tomorrow night. I have to think fast.
Yeah.
I could, I suppose. Yeah.
Entirely up to you. But if you want, and because I'd like to do this for Jean. And I mean, even if you don't want to stay, I'm going to still go ahead and do this.
I'll watch you.
Okay. So,
I've done it. Not that particular one, but I have done the blending. I enjoy it.
oh, yeah.
And that is one thing that, because May is my month, I was going to get the neutral shades. I've got all the subtles. I've got all the income. What do you call it? The 2002 to
Oh, the
2000.
in colors, the in
Yeah,
colors.
I've
Yeah.
got all those, and I have a few of the different greens.
Okay. Yeah.
So I want to complete them because I enjoy doing
Yeah.
the brushing and everything.
Yeah.
So
Oh, it's so fun.
yeah, and I think once I can build my confidence to do it, I'll enjoy it more.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Watch me do this.
I
And so,
will.
have you ever blended a scene before?
Not a scene. We've done a
Okay.
little bit with you, but I've
Okay.
watched tutorials.
Okay. Well, here we go. You're going to take your little circle.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. This happens to be 1 3/8. It does not have to be 1 3/8. This is removable tape. Okay. Stampin' Up doesn't sell this. I bought that at Michael's. So whenever you see tape in a green, that means it's removable. And it does say removable on it. I don't know if that's going to focus in there, but right here it says removable adhesive. So I just put a little bit of tape behind there. You can't, oh, there it is right there. And I determine where I want my moon or my sun, depending on what I'm creating. And I'm going to put it right there. Okay. On that piece of cardstock. Then this is just computer paper. That's all it is. And it's scrap. So here's what I did. I took a piece of computer paper. It's all scrap. And I'm just going to rip it. There's no right or wrong. There's no rhyme or reason. I'm just going to tear it. And if I don't end up really liking that, and it looks a little bit harsh to me, I'm going to just cut that down a little bit and get rid of that. And maybe a little bit of this here. Okay, so now what I want to do, because what I'm doing is I want to create the scene, and you can start with the sky, you can start wherever you want, but I'm going to start with the sand. Okay, so I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to put removable tape on here because I don't want that going anywhere. And you know what? Let's put a little bit behind there so that stays on my other scrap. And if I go like this, there's the beginning. Here's where my sand is going to go. Okay. And it
Mhm.
looks a little mountainous there. I actually want to rip that down just a smidge. There we go. I think I like that a little bit better. And you know, it ends up looking stunning no matter what. Then you're going to grab your blending brushes. And I like to wash mine after I use them, but I still like to try and stay kind of in the same color. So this looks like it's kind of the brownies. So I'm going to start with So Saffron. And I'm going to pick some ink up with my So Saffron.
Oh, you used. I'm just going to write these colors down, so that's okay. The sand.
Yeah, is So Saffron. And I think I think that's what it says on gently brush using soft suede. Okay, well, I started wrong. It should have been soft suede is what my instructions say. So you know what? Let's just get rid of the So Saffron on there and let's grab soft suede. And I don't mind that there's a little bit of yellow down there because that's my sand anyway. And there's my soft suede.
I thought you were mixing the two colors. That's when you said you'd start with the So Saffron.
Yeah, well, and you know what? I might have, but yeah, no, it doesn't. I just used soft suede on mine. And I start off and then roll on.
Roll on.
And then it's a little bit blotchy here, but I'm not too worried about it. It's sand, right?
Yes, and you're going to put something on it.
Yeah. And so let's roll that off. And so that is my brown. So now when I remove, let's close the soft suede before I stick my finger in it. When I remove this, there's my sand. Now I want to make sure that none of that adhesive landed on here. And now what I want to do is I want to create my water. So I'm going to put this down the opposite way where now I've got my straight line. Okay.
Mhm.
So now I'm going to grab my Coastal Cabana. And I'm not worried if, and I want to make sure that I stay away from here because that's actually not masked. And I'm not worried if a little bit of my Coastal Cabana ends up on the sand because now that's not masked.
Well, but sand is always a little darker when it gets to the water, so it makes no difference.
Exactly, exactly. My Coastal Cabana needs to be re-inked.
How many dots do you put on your pad when you re-ink it?
You know what? If you want, why don't I do that right now? Because this needs to be re-inked. This is Coastal. This is Coastal Cabana. Let's do that. Whoops! Right now.
I'm asking too many questions.
No, you're not. You know what?
I rather like this, to tell you the truth.
What, the one-on-one?
Yeah.
So what you do is you grab your ink, and I like to go like this.
Oh, okay.
And then I like to go like that.
I was very stingy yesterday.
Yeah, then you didn't, you probably did not add enough. And then I always have a disposable spoon or a plastic spoon. And now I massage that in.
Oh, see, I learned something now today.
And that's how I re-ink. And now I might as well put that on there. end.
But now it's going to be too dark, isn't it? No? Oh, no.
No, it'll be fine. So there is Coastal Cabana. And now let's add some Pool Party. So I'm still sort of in the blues. So I'm going to use the same brush for that. And this looks like it's wanting to be re-inked as well.
Oh, so the pads don't last that long.
Well, you know what? It's been a long time, Lorraine, since I've re-inked. So they do last a fair bit. I probably haven't inked this in a year.
Oh,
Yeah. I don't re-ink very often. So that is my Pool Party. And before I remove that, it's kind of like, okay, do I have the color that I want? You know, I think I want a little more Coastal Cabana, closer to my sand edge.
oh yeah. I just loved it. I was excited because I loved this card.
Oh, yeah. So now you're going to see the water. I wasn't fully in camera there. Now you're going to see the water. Let me move this a little bit closer to myself.
Oh yeah, I can
So
see you well.
here's the water. And again, I want to make sure that none of that removable adhesive ended up on my card. And now what I want to do is I want to take my straight edge of my mask and I want to put that back down to hide the bottom of my card, because now I want to work on the top of my card. Okay.
Mhm.
I'm going to start with Night of Navy. I'm going to start with my darkest color. So I'm going to stay with this brush. Well, maybe I'm not. I'm going to take a clean brush because I don't want any of that blue-green coming off. And on purpose, now this, it's entirely how you want to create the card, right? So there's no right or wrong, and no two cards will ever be the same. Now, as I did on here, I don't know if you can tell, but this is actually a lot of white space that I left behind. Okay. It doesn't look white right now, but
No.
I've got my Night of Navy all around here. So obviously when I sponged, I kept this area kind of clean, and I'll show you how I did that. Okay. So I'm going to pick up my Night of Navy. And I'm going to roll off. This is my sun. That's masked on purpose. I want to be kind of really heavy and dark around my edges. I do want to come into my masked sun a little bit. But I want to keep this area a little cleaner.
I loved it with the pink. It really looked nice.
Yeah. And I'm pressing a little too hard, and that's why I'm getting these lines. So I want to be a little carefuler where I'm letting the brush do the work and not my hands. Now I do want it dark all around the edges because I want to give this a real nighttime kind of effect. This is probably one of my favorite techniques.
Really?
Is using blending brushes. I love using blending brushes.
I think once I get on it, I will like it. But
yeah,
I'm just, why? It's only a piece of paper I'm wrecking. Why get all upset about it? I mean,
well, and you won't wreck it. Like you will
No.
actually end up being surprised. Now, I don't know if you can tell what I'm doing here. Like
Mhm.
this is my card. Now here's my moon. I do need a little bit of blue here on the other side of my mask. So I've got that contrast. So I'm going to
Mhm.
wipe most of it off in this corner, but I'm going to come down around my mask. So there is a little bit of blue here, but now I want to concentrate and get it darker around the edges. And you don't have to. You'll actually be surprised how different your sky is going to be when you do this, and how beautiful it's going to be. Okay, so that's enough with the Night of Navy. Then I'm going to grab some Daffodil Delight, because I'm trying to create a moonscape. Okay, so I'm going to start off and roll on with some of my yellow. This is Daffodil Delight, and
You
that's
could
all.
use the bumblebee too also, couldn't you?
Yes, you could.
Okay.
Yeah, yes, you could. I'm going to grab Cherry Cobbler. I'm trying to make a sunset scene. Whoopsie. And see, the beautiful thing is with a sky, the sky is always very different.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes when we're coming home from the lake and we're looking at the sunset, I'm like, take a mental note, Denise, look what that looks like. Now, if you take, I need a sponge. Hang on 1 second. Oh, I put my sponges in a different spot and I don't remember where I put them. Okay, I don't know where my sponges are, but you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to grab a tissue, and if I kind of bunch it up like this, I'm going to pick up some of the Cherry Cobbler, and I just want to very lightly put some streaks across the sky. I saw a sunset one time when we were coming home from the lake with streaks across the sky, and I was like, are you kidding me? Okay, so I'm thinking that's enough. You know what? Maybe I'm going to add a little more Daffodil Delight. Let's get a little more yellow happening in my sky. And that's good. Now watch what happens. I am going to remove my sun mask, and I've got a white sun. I want to give it a rub to make sure that adhesive came off. I'm going to grab my Daffodil Delight, and I'm going to go off and roll onto my moon. And now all of a sudden, I have created a moon because it's no longer white.
So you're putting it all over the moon?
All over. And then I'm
But
going
it's
to take this and I'm going to put some red streaks through it. Why not, right? I've seen that a few times. And yeah, all over that moon. Now watch what happens when I remove all the mask.
oh, it's so pretty.
There's my scene that I've just created. Isn't that crazy?
Mm-hmm.
Now what I want to do is, if I put this down, now I had put that down this way, right?
Right.
I want to mask off this area right here. Kind of like that. So I just want to mask that off, just this corner. So I'm masking between my sand and my water, and I'm going to go like that. Then I'm going to take my no, I'm not. Then I'm going to take my Stampin' Write markers. These are not blends. These are the markers. I've got Mossy Meadow and I've got Soft Suede. And I am going to grab this stamp from the Paradise Palms. And this is like your own private YouTube session.
I know.
So this is masked. I'm going to take the brush tip and I am going to paint the palms. You can do this with Stampin' Write markers. You don't want to do it with your Stampin' Blends. It's an entirely different thing. So I'm just coloring in my palms.
No, I don't have any of those. Can you not use markers?
No,
No?
like just
Okay.
regular markers. No, you'll wreck your stamps.
Okay.
Yeah, you'll wreck your stamps. And then you're going to color in using Soft Suede Stampin' Write marker on the trunks. And sorry, I'm closer to my mic now, so I'm probably
No, that's fine.
Okay. And now I'm going to give it a huff. So I'm just putting moisture back on that. And on purpose, I want to be up in my sun or my moon, whatever it is. And this mask has caused those trees to not be right in the sand. And then I'm going to take the bullet tip of this and I'm just going to color in the rest of what I missed.
Oh, see, I went to do something. Yes, was it yesterday? No, yeah, I think it was yesterday. I was doing a card for someone, and I wanted the two-tone effect on one of my stamps. What I did was I had a little tiny blending brush.
Yeah.
And I put it in my ink pad and
Yeah.
got it really dark. And I just went down the
Good for you.
just on parts of it.
Yeah.
I also use Scotch tape to
to mask.
Yeah, well, yes, but if I stamp on a stamping pad and I want, like if I was doing this and stamped on the stamping pad and I got the treetops one color, I definitely would have put tape on them.
Yeah.
But this is much easier.
Yeah. I should have stamped this a little bit lower. But yeah, so now you've got the illusion that, you know, these trees are behind the sand. I can always do that and then pull in some Soft Suede again.
Oh, I would put a stone in front of it myself.
Yeah, I've got some of those.
Oh, I think this is great. I love this. I just got to sit down and do it.
And there's my scene.
Oh, that's pretty.
There's my scene. Totally
different from the other one, though.
Totally different because it'll never, ever be the same, right? It'll never, ever be the same because how can you replicate, you know? So this one here, my trees, I didn't stamp them quite as high up in the moon as this one. So they ended up on the sand a little bit more. And then what I did here was with the scraps that are in your in your kit, I stamped the star, and I stamped this, and I stamped the big conch, and I also stamped my sentiment on that big conch. So here's the big one. And I did that in soft suede. And then this guy I did in Blushing Bride. And my starfish I also did in soft suede. So if you take your scraps out.
Oh, I got the scrap paper. I said I didn't. Yeah, you can't.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
that's
you can't,
right.
if you don't have the seashells, and I can't stamp them. I'm not supposed to do that. And I am a rule follower. So
Well.
I'm going to place that on there, and it is photopolymer, so I want to make sure that I've got my foam mat under. And then I'm going to take these guys and put them down here. So that and that, I might as well pick them all up for now. I am going to use So Saffron. Actually, I don't want to do that yet. I'm going to do So Saffron on this guy. And I also used Wink of Stella, Lorraine. And then
you brushed it on.
Yeah, after everything was done. So there's my conch.
Oh, pretty.
And then it's still a little bit wet, but do I know anybody that is retiring? But I love You to the Beach and Back. I'm going to use that again because I love that. I say that to my grandkids all the time. Love You to the Beach and Back. So then I'm just going to place that on my conch, and let's get that off. So you can say hi to Jean because she is going to get this after.
Hi, Jean. I'm privileged.
I said, Jean, I'll tape it. She's like, I'm so sorry, I can't make it tonight. I'm like, it's okay. I'll tape it and I'll send it to you. So Love You to the Beach and Back. And let's use Night of Navy. My So Saffron stamp pad was a little juicy, so it didn't stamp the nicest. But so Love You to the Beach and Back. That's done. Let's take that off. And now let's add our star, and that is going to also be in So Saffron. I'm going to show you just a really cool thing that happens after we get this all done. So there's my So Saffron on my starfish. And then on that shell, we're going to use Blushing Bride.
That was So Saffron you used?
Yeah,
Oh.
that's So Saffron. Yeah, it's kind of a, I don't know, I would say, like, it doesn't make sense, but a brown kind of yellow, but it's not. It's just, it's a dark, it's not a sun yellow, right?
No.
And then there's that pretty seashell, and I'm going to use Blushing Bride on that one. That was probably one of the hardest things to do when I was planning this card. It was like, what color do I stamp these shells? Because I love this stamp set, and I haven't been playing with it. And I thought, Denise, you're overthinking, which we all do, don't we?
Yeah.
Sometimes we overthink it, and it's like, you know what? Just do it. I've made so many beautiful cards here lately. It's been really fun. Okay,
gotta-
so
Get more ideas. That's my problem. I can't cough up the ideas.
yeah, you know what? Go on my YouTube channel, Lorraine,
I have been.
and take a look there. Hopefully that'll help you. Then I'm going to put all of these little guys. I'm just going to put them there. I'll put them away properly later. So this friends are like seashells. There's like 3 pieces to it. If people are wanting, there's also an embossing folder, and there's also a die cut. So I am going to take, where are my, you know what? Why don't we die cut them first? That'll actually make it way easier.
I love the new colors coming in.
Oh, I know. I know. And I'm glad, because I really liked the ones that were exiting. And I'm like, because I remember one year, I can't remember when it was quite a while ago now, where I actually didn't really care for the new in colors. And so it's nice when you love the new ones. Okay, so
Yeah.
I'm going to take the star, and I need a piece of tape because it keeps moving on me. Let's tape that down. And then I'm going to take, that's the wrong one. Is it? Yes, it is. That is the wrong one. I think it's just the star. Let me see. That goes that way. Okay, let's cut this one. Oh, you can't really see what I'm doing.
No, I know what you're doing.
Okay, so I'm running the star through. So that was a standalone die. So there's my little starfish. But now this one here and this one here, let me see if I can do this so you can see what I'm doing. Let's see if I can see what I'm doing. This one is going to go.
Oh, it comes in all a great big set like that?
Yeah, because it actually fits right in the embossing folder. So
Oh.
if you cut this whole panel out, then you can take that whole panel and you put it right in this embossing folder. It's crazy. And then this guy here actually fits in. I need my scissors, and they're not close at hand. So let's just tear that. And then I'm going to put that in here. Make sure that doesn't move. And this one moved just a smidge. There we go. Okay, that's all set. Let's cut that. Drum roll, please. I love this so much. Oh, yeah, I forgot. Right. It cuts it funny. Okay, I do need my snips. So this one, the starfish, I cut out with the standalone. And these guys here, I actually fussy cut them, is what I did. So I am just going to fussy cut that.
That one has it doesn't have a standalone punch?
No.
Oh,
No, because when you, I'll show you in a minute. I'll take a piece of scrap and I'll cut that whole thing out and I'll show you what it actually does. So this guy here, you fussy cut. This guy here, you fussy cut. Okay, those are my three shells for my card, but I need my cut and emboss again, because I'm going to run that through the embossing folder. And I mean, this card, it probably wasn't the smartest card to plan for a class, because you'll never get the real effect of the card unless you're at class.
no, but I mean, you see it and I don't know. I think it's the photocopy that you showed was beautiful.
Yeah, but I mean, in order for you to create the card, right? Because now what we're going to do, I wanted to make sure that my sentiment was stamped on that shell. I am going to place that shell in the embossing folder right there.
Oh, and then you're going to emboss it.
I'm going to place this shell there in the embossing folder. And my starfish is not part of this. So now when I close this, I've got my conch and my shell, and I'm going to run it through.
Oh, I should be.
And so now I've got an embossed.
Isn't that pretty?
Yeah, and so I want to show you what happens with that whole plate. So if I take I think this is Calypso Coral. Now, I've never done this actually, Lorraine.
Oh, well, we're going to see it together.
Exactly. I should have stamped it first, but I just want to see what happens when I cut it out. And then my top plate, table shaking. I'm curious. I've never die cut this before. Okay. I see. So this is what you get. So here it is die cut. And then what you would do is, let's move that all out of the way. Let's pull out our stamper. I digress, right? I still haven't finished that other card, but we will. I'm just curious. I want to see this in action. So if I put that down on here, I'm going to place this conch.
Oh, and do them all
There.
at once.
I'm going to place, you can tell I've never used this because I'm having a hard time getting them out. They're,
But then what would be the purpose of like
this?
well, you wouldn't use that whole thing to make one card, would you?
Yeah, you would. So what ends up happening, Lorraine, is this ends up being your card front. So that one there,
Oh, okay.
I'm just, this one here. Whoops.
Let me just hang on. I'll just see what I've got here.
And then this little guy, I believe, is that one. Okay, so I've got the 5 shells on here. Nah, don't move. Okay, so do you see what's happening? How, because these are photopolymer and there's so many of them, how this whole thing wants to lift up.
Mm-hmm.
What you do is you take something that's not going to be strong enough. I need my,
You almost need like a little spatula.
yeah, I need my bone folder. So I can hold that down and now that's not going to move. Okay, because I already had these already lined up. Now, if I take, let's see, I'm thinking Calypso Coral. I think I want to do tone on tone. And let's see if that shows up. And then I'm gonna use my bone folder again. So I'm inking that up with my Calypso Coral. So that ends up being tone on tone because this paper is Calypso Coral. I want to make sure that I'm still lined up, and I am. Take my pressure tool. I'm going to use my bone folder trick again because I don't want that to move in case I have to re-ink.
Oh, nice. That's pretty.
Isn't that beautiful? Okay,
Mhm.
I see.
No. Okay, then you just leave mine there and I'll leave that back.
Okay, so there's that. And now if I take that whole thing and put that down on the embossing folder and just follow the pattern. I'm just a little bit off there. Okay, I'm going to be right back. I'm going to run that through. I hope you can see the effect. So now we've die cut the cardstock, we stamped the cardstock, now we've embossed the cardstock. And look at that.
Oh, wow. That is pretty.
So then what you would do is you would take that you would put that on your card front and you're ready to create your card. You could just have a sentiment in there somewhere. Isn't that gorgeous?
Very
I'm going to make a
pretty.
card. Thank you. I had never played with that before. I've had it for months and I have not played with it. So I
Well,
love
I've even got some I've never played with.
yeah. I keep my, I don't know if you can see, but my little this little shelf here. I don't know if you can see that.
Yeah, I can see it.
That little shelf there is where I keep all of the new stamp sets that I buy, and I'm not allowed to put them away until I play with them, because I have sold so many retired stamp sets that I realized I hadn't even played with them.
Oh, it's not hard.
It's not hard. It's not hard to do. Okay, I'm going to put that away later. Let's get back to our original card. If I can find all my elements. So here, here, here. And there's the original. Here's the new. So then what you would do in your kit, you've got your gems. You're going to take your card front, your card base, I mean. You're going to score at 4 1/4. And then what I like to do is I like to fold it, and then I use this lip edge to make sure that my two ends are flush. And then I have a nicer score line. So there's my card base. Then I'm going to take my newly painted picture. I'm not worried about that removable tape back there. And then whatever your preference is, my preference is Tombow. I put Tombow back there. I put that on my Night of Navy, and I eyeball north, south, east, west to make sure that I am mostly centered, and sometimes I'm not.
That
and it's
looks perfect from
the
here.
handmade card, and I don't worry about it. And then you can use dimensionals if you want. I prefer not. Just this way, if I am mailing it with the gems on there, if there's also dimensionals on this part, you're not getting it in the mail. And then again, I eyeball north, south, east, west to make sure that I'm square-ish. And I'm a little off in that corner. And then what I did was I just used Tombow on this one. And if there's something that you wanted to hide, you could strategically place that down to hide it. And then I'm going to put a dimensional behind my little star. Where is my take your pick tool? We will use that instead. And I'm just going to use minis. I'm stuck. Have you had dinner already?
No.
Oh dear.
No, I ate a late lunch and I was out today, so.
Okay. So is hubby waiting for you for dinner?
No, he made his.
Oh, nice.
He's making me a hamburger. That's all I'm having.
How sweet.
And a salad.
And so then I've got dimensionals on here. This is just Tombow. This one I'm going to put dimensionals on, but because this part of the shell is going to be on top of this starfish, I don't need a dimensional there. I just need a dimensional at that end. So I just having a hard time picking these up. Put dimensionals. Oh my goodness. where, whoops, take that backing off, put a little bit of liquid glue right there. And then that is going to go down on top of that. Then you're going to grab your Wink of Stella. Get that primed. I think I'm good. And then you're just going to paint the starfish and this one. I'm too nervous to paint that one because of the two colors on there. I don't want them to bleed into each other. So it's just these two that I winked. And then you're going to take your rhinestones and you are going to place those wherever you want. Or you could use the sea glass if you have sea glass at home. I did not have any of the sea glass because when I went to order them, they were out of stock. And so when I did this card, I used these rhinestones instead. And so you're just going to place those wherever you want. And there's your card.
Very nice.
Done and done. So two same cards, but they look very different. They look very, very different.
Yeah.
Here, I've got more of the blue that I sponged into the water. Here, I didn't. But there's no right or wrong. So that's it. That's your card.
Yeah. Oh, it's very pretty. I think they're gorgeous.
Thanks.
I can't wait to get on it. I was panicking when I didn't have the colors.
Yeah, no, you can always make do with other colors. Yeah, that's not a problem at all.
But I like the deep, deep blue and
oh, I love Night of Navy.
Yeah.
Night of Navy is a have to.
Yeah, I didn't have that, and I didn't have the sand one, which is a must, I think, too.
Soft suede.
The only one I had was cinnamon cider, and that wouldn't have gone.
Yeah, cinnamon cider could have worked. It's a little bit lighter though. My computer's on 3%. It's going to die any second.
Okay.
I need to plug it in. Oh, okay. Are we going to go?
Oh, it doesn't matter.
Oh, okay. Let me plug that in. I've got it right here. I meant to do that earlier and I totally forgot. There we go. Now I'm not worried. I just, at my end, it was like I kept freezing and I'm like, what's going on? And then I know it's okay. And now I'm at 2%, but now I'm plugged in. But you know what? That's it. There's your card.
Very pretty.
There's your card.
I'm going to order the subtle or the neutrals this time for sure.
Okay. You won't regret it. You won't regret it. I love my neutrals. Yeah. If there's one set that would be, but this, like, everybody's taste is different, right? Brights would be the last color for me that I choose, but I'm not, I don't tend to go that way a whole lot, you know? But yeah, if you get the neutrals, you won't regret it at all. I love the neutrals.
Yeah. And I think once you get the new colors that are in, that'll replace your brights, because those are vibrant colors too.
Yeah. Here's another.
Like I love that lime green. Oh, that is pretty.
And that's another one that I did. This is Blackberry Bliss. So same idea, same stamp set, but I used the bigger prawns and the bigger stem to create this one. And this one stands that way. So, you know, an entirely different card, but the same technique and using something different. But I did the same thing. I masked off and this blotch here is that right there.
Yeah. What color did you do that?
This one?
No, in the blotch. What color did you do the blotch?
That looks like basic gray.
Yeah, I just wondered.
Yeah, that's basic gray. So yeah, so that's it.
That is cute. I really like that big one.
Yeah. Huh. Yep. Same stamp set, Paradise Palms.
Yeah.
Yep.
I don't mind the shells. I think I would just get the stamps.
Absolutely. Yeah. I loved the shells and I had to have them. And then it was like, okay, I better use them at least on one class, just so that I can say, there, I used it. So there, I used it.
No, they're nice to have,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think that to me that set I would use more
Yeah.
just the stamps.
Yeah. And I mean, you end up figuring that out, right? You end up really realizing what sets you would use and what sets you wouldn't use,
Yeah.
you know? Yep. It's a
Well,
learn.
once I get my stamps, then or once I get all my inks, I think I'll end up leaning towards the stamping.
Yeah. Yeah. Cause then you'll know more what you're able to do with what you have. So
Mhm.
yeah. Yeah.
Nice,
Well, I'll
nice.
let you go have your burger then. You have a
Yeah,
lovely burger, and then this just ends up being a way quicker class. And
yeah,
and you know what? If you need a hand with knowing what to order, happy to help,
yeah.
you
Now,
know.
do I put in my order now, or do I wait until the others come in?
You know what? It doesn't matter. Don't submit it. And Jean, this info is for you as well. You girls can wait and place your order tomorrow, and then you're able to purchase from the new catalog if you're interested in anything in there, right? When it comes to inks and stamp pads, other than the new in colors, those don't change, Lorraine. So
No.
you can order your neutrals, but if there's something that did I give you a new catalog yet?
Yep, I've got them.
Okay.
Both
If
of them.
there's something in the new one that you're interested in, um, you can place that order tomorrow,
Mm-hmm.
you know. Um, so and you know what, Lorraine, don't how is that going to work? Oh yeah, you know what? You can place your order, but then when it comes to closing out your party, I will have the totals here. So whatever you get with what they call Stampin' Rewards, which is kind of like your free shopping,
Mm-hmm.
I have to submit that, and that will not go directly to you. That will come here. But I can probably, when it does get here, I can probably get my daughter to unbox and just put your stuff in between the doors for you. Because the only thing that's going to be in that box is going to be your Stampin' Reward order and my order, because I place an order in, because I'm part of this commitment group too. So
Okay. So then when are you closing the
well, hopefully sooner rather than later. But if you place your order, you can submit that right away. If you know what, am I making sense? If you know what you want right now, you can place that order right away, or you can wait and do it with me, but then all of that will come here.
okay.
And there's no way around that, because it's a workshop order, and so the workshop gets submitted to the demonstrator unless people place their order online using your host code. But when it comes to closing your party order, that's at my end, right?
Okay. Yeah.
And so
Okay. So then if you're ordering something from from the, like, okay, let's say you had X number of dollars sort of in the bank.
yeah,
Do I give you what I want out of it?
yeah, yeah. Or you can, and because it's your party, you can do what you want, Lorraine. You don't have to submit an order at all. You can just wait for your rewards to come in. You will for sure have 20, I was going to say $200. You will for sure have $20, because you get 10% of your party total. So the minimum that you're going to receive is 20. You will likely have $25 or more in spending, but I have to do that at my end.
Well, then how about I just give you my order?
Sure.
I'll
Yeah.
I'll email it to you either tomorrow or Wednesday. Is that fine?
Sounds good. That sounds good.
And
then-
you don't even have to worry till you get back because
Yeah.
I'm going shortly. I'll be gone too while
Oh,
you're
where are you
gone.
going? Where are you going?
I'm going to Edmonton.
Oh, yay.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll see you out there because we'll be stopping in Edmonton.
For 2 weeks. There's a really
Oh.
neat craft store in Edmonton.
Yeah, I've been there.
Which one do you go to? The one on 50th?
Oh, you know what? No, I'm thinking of one in Calgary.
Oh,
But you know what? You don't have a text, do you?
a text?
Like you don't, do you have an iPhone or a cell phone?
I have a phone, but it's a BC telephone number. And when I
okay.
phone people, they don't answer because they think it's a solicitor calling.
Oh,
They don't know anybody in BC. But that
Well-
was my husband and my daughter's decision to do that.
Yeah, well, that's okay though. If you send me that phone number, I can put that in my contact of you. I can put that under Lorraine, and then when the phone rings, even though it's a BC number, I'll see that it's you.
Okay.
You know,
Yep.
and then I will know how to get a hold of you. Like if we end up in Edmonton, and I can say, "I'm in Edmonton. Where are you?"
Well,
Let's
I'm
go
going to
shopping.
be there from about the 22nd until, maybe the 3rd or 4th.
Okay, we won't be there then because we have to be in BC by the 18th of May. And
Oh.
we probably won't be leaving there until about the 5th of June.
Oh, no, I said the 20th. I'm going to be there on the Thursday before the long weekend.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, that Thursday I'm there.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Well, have a
anyways,
wonderful time in Edmonton.
I will, and you have a great time on
I
your
will.
holiday.
I will.
And I'll text you on, I'll send you my order.
Sure.
And then you do the calculations and I'll whip
I'll
you
let
off
you know.
an e-transfer.
Yeah. I'll let you know where you land. So, okay, that's perfect.
That's going to be a big order for me because I won't be ordering in the summer then. So
Exactly. Well, and you know what? It's your party. So this is the time to place a big order because you get the benefit. Now, if your party total ends up being, I'm going off the top of my head here, and I don't like to ever trust that. I think
no, don't worry about
it's
that.
either 525 or 500, and it happens where that becomes your party total. You get one item at half price. And I will sit down with you if we get to that point. I'll sit down with you and we'll work it out the best way to get the best value for you, where you're putting your biggest amount in there. And you know what? If I have to top you up to get you there, like if you're that close,
I can top myself up.
But yeah, we'll be in touch. Let me know. Send me an email with what you want. I'll get that together for you. Keep in mind, starting tomorrow, you can shop out of the new catalog. So
I forgot all about tomorrow's new catalog. I will do that then.
Yeah, take a peek in there. Get your wish list together.
Yeah. Are you going on the weekend to the craft?
I am. Are you?
Yeah.
You're coming?
Yeah.
I did not know that. Oh, I'm so excited.
I used to go all the time.
I will see you there. Leanne is going too.
Yes. Yeah.
And I'm going, and Darlene is going, and Lucy is teaching one of the classes, and Kathy, a different Kathy that you haven't met, is going. So, I'm excited, Lorraine. I did not know that you were going to be there.
Yeah.
So I sent an email out to those that are coming just to say, don't pack your big shot because I'm going to bring mine and everybody can share it. And I also will probably be bringing all of my Stampin' Up! Colors in my stamp pads. And if there is something in particular that you want me to bring, I can bring it. Like if you want, I'll bring this seashell and you can actually do your card there.
Yeah, I might do it there. I'm going to work on my Christmas cards.
Fun.
I've
Fun.
got to figure out what I'm doing. And I wasn't bringing everything. What I was sort of doing is I have my little packs of cards, and I
Yeah.
thought, well,
Yeah.
because rather than bring tons of paper, and that's why I quit going to them. I just found I was taking so much stuff,
Okay.
and I would sit there and do nothing because I was overwhelmed.
Yeah. No, you know what?
So-
I'll make sure that I put the fire under your pants here and make sure that you get to work. And everything that I bring, I share.
Oh yeah, I do too.
You know, so if you run out of paper, I'll have some for sale there, but my stamp sets are there to share, blah, 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 blah. So yeah, I'm excited. I did not know you were going. I am so sorry that I
Yeah.
never even asked. So
Oh, no.
Jean, are you going? Is Jean going?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. Okay.
I don't
Shucks.
think so.
Yeah.
But I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. So am I. It'll be fun.
Mhm.
It'll be very fun.
And then
So,
I'll pick your brains on some of my stamps.
sounds good. Sounds good. That'll be great. I will
Oh.
see you on the weekend then.
We will. We'll talk to you
Okay.
later then.
Yeah.
Are
Don't forget
you
to say bye.
taking their meals or you're bringing your own?
I'm taking their meals. I'm not bringing
Okay.
my own this time. Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah. Yeah. Don't forget to say bye to Jean.
Bye. Oh, hi. Bye, Jean. Talk to you later.
Yeah. Okay. We'll
Take
see you on
care.
the weekend. Okay. Bye,
Thank
Lorraine.
you.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
You're welcome. Bye.
Exit.